Alright everybody, we are back for round 3 of the West Virginia State Magic Championships. My name is Zachary Evans, I'm joined by Brett Rose, and in round 3 tonight, we have... I gotta bring those up, yeah. Round 3, it took me 3 shots before I found somebody who wanted to play on camera, but we did in fact find a pairing for you. We have on the left...
That one's not right.
Which one's not right? This one?
Yeah.
Alright, bear with us briefly as we sort out. So, on the left we have Alan Pack playing Jun Zombies.
Yeah.
Okay, and on the... Well, let me figure out who we got over here. Justin Martin on the right. And he is playing what?
It is the Prior Pack, is what he has as the deck name.
Prior Pack?
That looks like... Oh, yeah, I guess that is a B. Prior Pack.
I don't know what... we will... It's his deck. We will call it what he wants to call it. So, Briar Pack it is. So tell me a little bit about what's in this Briar Pack list.
It's looking a lot like a Azorius... let's see here. We've got 4 Lingering Souls, 4 Tallran's Invocations, 2 Midnight Hauntings, 4 Unsummons, 3 Tragics, 2 Azorius Charms, 2 Syncopates, 4 Intangible, 3 Favorable. So he's playing the...
So he's playing an Esper tokens list.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have his name wrong. We're falling apart here. I have leftovers of last round. So now it looks like we have Jun Zombies. High class production value. Only the best from our live stream. Did I already recap where we at and all things like that? No, don't think I did. So, for those of you just joining us, and for those of you watching this round specifically in the archives after the fact, we are live at the 2012 West Virginia State Magic Championship from the Beckley Convention Center in Beckley, West Virginia. This is round 3. These gentlemen are both 2-0. So, 7 rounds of Swiss today, cut to top 8, 4 bragging rights, a plaque, and free entry into a lot of fun tournaments. Not sure who won the die roll, but we will find out very quickly.
I have a feeling you're going to really like Alan's deck here. Alan's deck. He's playing a lot of 1-drops.
Is he playing all 12 1-drops?
He's playing Gravecrawler, Rakdos Cackler, Diregraf Ghoul.
Yeah, so he's playing the full suite of 1-drops.
Yeah. So he's just going to have a whole lot of action coming out the door here.
It's basically just a standard zombie list as we see a untapped Blood Crypt. I will bring up the life totals.
That's a good use of a shock land there.
Yep, that is the new Return to Ravnica card. Cackling... What is it?
Rakdos
Cackler, which is a 1/1 with Unleash for 1. It's not a zombie, but it does synergize in the sense that it does give this deck an extra set of 2 power 1-drops, as we see him get in now for 4 on turn 2.
So that's a well-placed Rancor right there.
Yeah, his green in this deck is for Lotleth Troll and Rancor. His red is, and for Dreg Mangler, his red splash is for Falkenrath Aristocrat. So, we see an Augur of Bolas from Justin. And to be perfectly honest, I was slightly distracted and missed what he got off the Augur. Is there some issue? Okay. I'm going to change this listing here. Basically, Justin is... There's a lot of questions in the chat. Justin is basically playing an Esper tokens deck.
With the name.
With the name, he's obviously worked on it himself. So, more importantly than what's in his deck is what's on his opponent's side of the board. As we see, Justin dropped all the way down to 9 off the back of a Dreg Mangler, going down on curve. This is exactly how Zombies draws it up. So, no Lingering Souls on turn 3. Falkenrath Aristocrat could come down here and just end the game immediately.
Or a Midnight. He could Midnight and...
Oh, he's also playing Midnight Haunting, so... That's true, he could be holding that back, so... We see a chump block on the... Devil.
So he'll just take
He'll take the 1 from that and the 3 from the Mangler, dropping into 5, so... Still in pretty bad shape. I do not think, looking at his deck list, Alan does not have any burn, so he doesn't have reach. He is simply attacking for the win. Tragic Slip takes care of the Dreg Mangler.
Is that what you would have taken out?
I probably would have gotten the Troll. The Troll's going to be much harder to deal with.
That's what I was
Is this a Verdict? Oh, it's a Towern's Invocation. So we'll get 2/2/2 flyers.
So Alan is just a couple discards away from just taking this first game.
Yes. Well, I mean, he is going to... I mean, he still can chump block. But it does have trample, so...
They both have trample.
Rancor they both have trample, yeah. So, he's representing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power, so he can get 2 through at least. If he can come up with 3 more power on this turn, he'll win here. Let's see him get in here.
Swinging with everything.
And there you go.
Double discard.
Discard both to the Troll. Makes it a 4 power.
So 4 gets through there. 2 gets... Or, I'm sorry. 2 gets
2 will trample over for both creatures, yeah.
And do you regenerate?
Regenerate, he will trade with... No, he doesn't have to regenerate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Geralf Messenger... I lied. I said earlier that he was not playing burn spells. He is playing burn spells. They're just attached to a 3/2 creature called Geralf's Messenger. So, a very, very quick game 1. That is often how game 1 goes in the zombie matchup. Not entirely surprising that the game played out like that. So, we move to the sideboards now. Alan, your winner, will be bringing in, or at least has access to, 2 Golgari Charms, 3 Thragtusks, 2 Underworld Connections, 2 Duress, 2 Dreadbore, 2 Cremate, and 2 Appetite for Brains. So I'm looking here, and I'm not entirely sure what he wants in this matchup.
Charms.
Golgari Charm seems like the only card that he would even consider. He doesn't want Thragtusk, he just slows his deck down. Underworld Connections is not a card I think he wants. It's mostly for a controlled deck matchup. He might bring it in. I don't really think this matchup is grindy.
Yeah, he just wants to get the win and get it quick.
Although we do have to take into consideration there that we did not see much out of Justin's deck. The only card that he really cast was a Towern's Invocation.
And Augur of Bolas.
And an Augur of Bolas. So I'm not sure Alan has any idea of what he's actually playing. So he's going to have to make his decision. We know he's playing a tokens deck, but I don't know if Alan necessarily knows he's playing a tokens deck. He might put him on some kind of Delver hybrid, but anyway, I don't think he wants the Duress. He might want the Dreadbore. I don't really think so. Dreadbore is more of an anti-Thragtusk card.
He doesn't have enough targets.
Appetite for Brains doesn't seem to be good, nor does Cremate. So it looks like Golgari Charm's coming in for Alan. Not sure if much else. Now, more importantly, let's look to Justin's sideboard and what he has to stem the tide. So, 2 Night of Glory seems very relevant, 2 Purify the Grave, 2 Negate, 2 Dissipate, an Appetite for Brains, 1 Human Frailty, 1 Ultimate Price, 1 Sorin Lord of Innistrad, 1 Rootborn Defense, which is a very interesting card, 1 Nevermore, and 1 Supreme Verdict. So, Verdict likely comes in.
I would imagine Nevermore would.
I imagine. I'm not sure what you would name. Doesn't seem like... However, to be quite honest, at turn 3, Nevermore naming anything out of...
Geralf's Messenger seems to be a big one.
Yeah, but I honestly think you name anything and it's probably got some value to it, so I think you're right there as well. Ultimate Price is probably good. It does... Well, Ultimate Price...
It gets a lot of zombies.
It kills a Gravecrawler, it kills a Diregraf Ghoul. It does not kill Mangler, Aristocrat, or Lotleth Troll, though, so...
And it does kill the messengers as well.
So he's probably bringing in 2 Night of Glory. He might be bringing in the Purify the Grave. That will eat the Gravecrawlers, that will eat the Geralf's Messengers. I'm pretty sure he'll be bringing those in. all of these questions will be answered once we see these men shuffle up and start game 2.
Those knights seem super relevant in this matchup, though. I can't imagine that they wouldn't come in.
So, should be interesting. I mean, game 1 in these matchups, it's not like this is anything new. Jund Zombies is a new deck, but it's not like aggro beatdown decks are. There's always one elephant in the room when it comes to handling aggressive starts. So Jund Zombies seems to be that deck in this format, and in game 1 is most always going to go to
The aggro player.
And it's just a matter of what the sideboard looks like out of his opponent and what kind of draws they get.
Sure.
One card that is in the Zombies main deck, and I'll bring it up here for everybody to see. Oh, I will almost crash my computer is what I'll do. But for the benefit of those who could not see that,
The better of the two options, really.
just bring up this little dandy.
It's popping up in a lot of lists.
That card is Crippling Blight. This is a 3-of main deck card in Alan's zombie list. Enchant creature gets a -1/-1 and can't block. It's a pseudo removal spell. In a deck like Zombies, you don't really care if you actually remove the creature so much as you just remove it from the ability to block your incoming damage. So, and there's not an insignificant number of creatures that don't die to this. Mana Dorks die to this card. Snapcaster dies to this card. I don't think people are playing too many Rakdos Shred Freaks, but it dies to this card. A Lotleth Troll without any kind of discard or regeneration. Well, it beats regeneration actually. So seems very relevant. And then, like we said, just as a kind of falter effect, just taking a creature out of its blocking duties.
That's probably pretty huge.
Pretty interesting here. Like I said, I'm not sure that Alan knows exactly what Justin's deck is. I don't think it's entirely very good against Justin's deck, simply because Justin is all of his creature threats are 2-for-1s, as he is playing, as we said earlier, Midnight Hauntings, Lingering Souls, Talron's Invocation, and seven Anthem effects. So, looks like we're resolving a mulligan here. A very slow mulligan, it looks like. So for those of you who are just joining us, our numbers have gone up slightly here. We are live at the West Virginia State Magic Championships. You caught us during round 3. We appreciate your patronage. I know that we are getting one of our usual co-hosts for our F&M streams on Friday nights. Michael Taylor has mentioned this. He mentioned to me earlier that he put this on Reddit. I will admit to not having very much of a clue what Reddit is all about, but I do know that we are getting some viewers from that, so we definitely appreciate your patronage there. Stick around, we'll give information later on and throughout the broadcast about how you can get more Magic content and how you can contact us should you feel the need to do so. But we appreciate everybody who's watching this. I know there are a lot of other options today. You could be playing in your own state tournament. You could be watching the various other streams that are available. You have chosen to watch ours, and we thank you very much for that. So, hopefully we will continue to bring you some excellent matches. Our first 2 rounds saw some pretty good Magic being played. We've seen so far 3 green-white decks. I would argue that all 3 of them were different decks entirely. We saw a very aggressive green-white deck in round 2 that lost to a Junk Reanimator deck. And then in the first round we saw basically a green-white ramp deck square off against a green-white humans deck. So a lot of variety in this format, a lot of different decks in the room, a lot of different builds in the same colors as well. There's some junk aggro decks. Oh, you look at Alan, he's playing Jund, but he's playing a very aggressive zombie build of Jund. There are some very controlling high-end Jund decks in this room. There are some very mid-range Jund decks in this room as well. So,
whenever you're coming to states where it's a fresh format, you can really just do whatever
it's
you
a
want.
very exciting format. You know, you do have some local players. This might be the only large-scale event that they play in a calendar year. So a lot of people who might not normally play events show up with a lot of interesting decks. The format is young, so So we see turn 2, Augur of Bolas from Justin. No 1-drop out of Alan. He did mulligan to 6, so...
What gets revealed there?
That is an unsummon. That is a black-bordered unsummon. That is an old school, so props to Justin for having that card in his deck. But that is something we saw last night at F&M. Vapor Snag did rotate, but the ability to bounce a creature and snap it back is still relevant, so unsummon now seeing play. Not sure why that Woodland Cemetery came into play tapped. Oh, is that a gate? That's a Golgari
That appears
Gate.
to be a gate.
Yeah, it's another problem, like I said, with these. A lot of these cards from Return to Ravnica have very similar arts on them, so apologize for any mistakes that we will undoubtedly make in the future, but...
It appears he has 3 gates in there, so...
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these gen decks. The mana is just... It's a very greedy mana base, so they have to sacrifice the tempo to come into play tap land so that they can hit everything. Getting a lot of work out of that Rancor there, so...
Seems like every deck that's been playing it, it's just been doing all kinds of work for him.
For anyone wondering, we have 79 runners in this event. Surely slightly less than 79 now that a couple rounds are finished, but we are...
Viewership is now above actual attendance.
We now have more people watching than people attending states, which I think is a very interesting factor, but we did talk about it earlier in the broadcast. Due to some scheduling constraints, Star City Games used to run the West Virginia State events. They have bowed out of that for this calendar year, but they did so kind of late in the game, which put the current event organizer, Lost Legion Games, in a bit of a bind. So in 2 months they've put this together from scratch, so we appreciate their efforts in that. And the fact that this is in a venue it's not normally held in, we were wondering if we were going to see a decrease in attendance, but we are basically at or around where we were last year. So Magic's more popular than ever, both in the state of West Virginia and the world at large, I imagine. So good turnout, good events. We will show as much of it as we can.
Got another Cackler hidden there.
Yep. The turn 3 Cackler is much worse than the turn 1 Cackler, though. But he does have the Rancor, so... well, if you got 2 Cacklers, I guess it's fine. So we're seeing
two spirits hit with an Anthem effect.
Yeah.
That seems good to be on that side of the board.
And for anyone who's watched our FNM streams before, would know that Brett has championed tokens in the former pre-rotation standard, and as we've seen you on the coverage multiple times, the vigilance that Intangible Virtue grants his creatures, almost more relevant than the Anthem effect.
It absolutely is. I mean, the +1/+1 is good, but
the ability to pound in damage without having to sacrifice any swing back is
it's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
As a side note, Justin is playing 2 Vaults, so he has access to plenty of life gain.
Okay, 2 Vaulted Archangels in Justin's list as he resolves Tauren's Invocation.
So he's got some 3/3 flyers now.
3/3 flyers, 2/2 flyers, all of which have vigilance. And should he draw a Vault next turn, he can gain all of that life, and this game will be over. So, such are the perils of the aggro matchup. Sometimes you mull, sometimes the deck just doesn't get there. So, I'm not really sure, looking at Alan's list, I'm not really sure what he can do, especially with 2 mana, to dig himself out of this hole. No bonfires, no spot removal spells.
Just all the Rancors
Just
in the world.
Just going to have to hope that the trample damage is good enough. Do you just trade here with your tokens? I guess if you have a Vault in your hand, you might just take it and then Vault up. But showing 8 here, you take 4, you trade your tokens.
You're going to be doing a lot of damage next turn. I think this is a race you really want to play. You could.
And Justin agrees with you. He takes it all, drops to 8. obviously, if he has another token generation card in his hand, he's playing Midnight Haunting, as well as the Souls in his graveyard, and Towers Invocation. So, you're exactly right. He's showing here.
Or if he just has another Anthem.
2, 4, 10, 11 on board.
Yep,
There's
there
another.
it is.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 15. He's attacking with all of his tokens.
Those are 4/4, so those guys are 8.
8. Yep, and he should have 3/3 tokens, so it should be 14.
No, those are 4/4 tokens. So that's.
I stand corrected. I am a professional engineer with a 4-year degree, and I cannot do basic math. So
Math
that's
is hard.
that is the quality of high class commentary and nonstop coverage that you get from this, our Zach Sells Magic live stream. Some of you in the chat are giving us good feedback. We appreciate you joining us today. I'm sorry you couldn't make your own state tournament or any of the other events going on today, but you're more than welcome to join us as we show our state tournament here in West Virginia. Once again, we want to thank Lost Legion Games and Comics for allowing us to do this and for organizing the event. We'll give you some information here about Lost Legion a little bit later on. More importantly, for those of you who have just joined us on the stream, if this is your first time watching, we do a lot of Magic streaming in a month. We do a weekly F&M broadcast, and we are slowly but surely working our way towards Wednesday night legacy tournaments and a variety of casual drafts and cube drafts. So, if you want to get involved in any of that, if you want to get in touch with us, if you want to watch any of the archive footage, anything we have ever recorded is available on YouTube. So, how do you do that? It's simple. Just search for Zach Sells Magic, which is my de facto handle on any of these social media outlets. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll get an email notification anytime we post new content. You can follow us on Twitter if you Twitter at us. I'm falling apart. If you tweet at us during the round, we can check that as well. We do Twitter notifications anytime our stream goes live as well. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. We post pictures and videos from our weekly coverage. It's a good chance to interact with any of the people you see on camera. So follow us there and like our page. And then finally, if you are watching us now, obviously you know where the Twitch stream is, twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. But for those of you watching after the fact in the archives, make sure you follow us on Twitch. And for any of those people, if you are watching on Twitch, we would definitely appreciate if you followed our channel on Twitch. More importantly than just helping our numbers, we'll send you an email anytime our stream goes live. So if we do something in the middle of the week that's impromptu, that isn't as scheduled or as dependable as our weekly F&M broadcast, you will know. I use that myself for Matt Cranstuber's Joy of Cubing streams, as well as the South Florida Magic Legacies on Tuesday. So it's something I use. That's why I can recommend it.
Just as clarification on the Twitter chat here, Zach and I are in fact not well-known criminals of the perverted nature.
So we will not take advantage of, we will not internet stalk you, is that what we're going for?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see. Now I was not paying attention, so. One of our F&M regulars is trolling us in our own chat, so. As I was telling people earlier, last week we broke over the 100 viewer mark for our F&M stream, so we thank everyone for that.
Really?
But more importantly, we got. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brett. But more importantly, it was a monumental day because we, for the first time, had our live stream chat hijacked for spam.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle of round 2. League of Legends right points ad just popped up right in the chat. That's how you know you've arrived in this world of internet technology, when people are abusing your chat for their own advertisements. So
really, we achieved greatness.
Yes, there's nowhere to go but down from here. So in a lot of different ways. But anyway, our competitors here are resolving their mulligans, tied up at 1 game apiece here in round 3 rather. Alan Hinch's Zombies deck is mulliganing down to 6 cards. He will be on the play against Esper tokens from Justin Martin. Is this Esper tokens deck similar to the deck that's top 2'd the TCG Player 5K? Or is this a completely different deck?
No, it's very, very similar.
I like it a lot. It seems very fun.
It's completely different than what I put together,
I
but
like-
obviously it's working.
I like
for
the
it.
fact that Favorable Winds makes its way onto...
The standard screen.
Yes, that's not a card that's... I saw someone play this against me in the Avacyn Restored pre-release, and I wasn't even sure if it was good in Limited, let alone in Standard. So, Favorable Winds is a 3-of copy in Justin's deck, well, which he uses as his 5th, 6th, and 7th Anthem effect, along with the full playset of Intangible Virtue. So,
just out of curiosity, Zach,
yes, sir.
from your standpoint, who do you prefer in this matchup right now?
In terms of who do I think is going to win this game?
Yes.
Well, if Alan had not been mulliganing into Oblivion, I probably would pick Alan, especially on the play. Justin doesn't really do anything until turn 3, and by that point, all he's doing is making chump blockers with 1 toughness. And Alan, since he is playing in Rancors, trample is very relevant. So, did he only went down to 6. Is there lands in that hand?
Yeah.
I see a Blood Crypt
I think.
and a Lotleth Troll. I think he is debating whether or not it's good enough. He decided to keep. So we see an untapped Blood Crypt into a 1-drop, a typical zombies opening as Gravecrawler hits the board. Looking around the room, a lot of people done early. A lot of aggro decks in this metagame. A lot of people done early.
Drops down to 16 from the Alan drops down to 16 from that shock land.
Which is not an irrelevant, as we saw last time, or in the last game. There's at some point Justin reaches a critical mass of tokens and anthem effects where he can do 16 points of damage in 1 foul sweep. So
Sure. So you were talking earlier about the token list I was running before rotation.
yeah, it was a junk list, green, white, black deck.
That was another list that I thought I was just going to abandon because Timely was going out, and that Elspeth was as well. So I didn't think there'd be enough life gain, but the Azorius Charm really brought it back here.
And you can still play Vault of the Archangel, which is the best way for a deck like this to gain life. So we see a crippling, apologize for the glare. The fact that card is sideways, I think, is what's doing that. But that's a Crippling Blight, correct? Is that what that card is, Crippling Blight, on the Augur of Bolas?
I didn't see what he put down, but assumably it is, yes.
Is that what the card's called? Yep. So, removing it from combat, basically, rendering it, or turning it into an 0-2.
That cannot block. So zombies looking to get in here.
And we see a Midnight Haunting that will trade with both of them.
The tokens were used for a long time there.
Yeah. Technically, they did exist for a period of time, so...
He does take 3 damage, so it was worth
it. They should die.
I think he's decided he could Golgari Charm and regenerate.
Yeah, he could. We see a Lotleth Troll come down and replays one of the zombies.
Seems good.
Lotleth Troll does a lot of work. For those of you who watched our round 2 match, we saw a junk reanimator deck using Lotleth Troll as its discard outlet, which was pretty interesting. Lotleth Troll is a very solid Magic card. I think it was when Lotleth Troll was spoiled as one of the very early Return to Ravnica spoilers that we saw the massive increase in all of the Golgari Zombies cards. Messengers, Gravecrawlers, Woodland Cemeteries all went through the roof because everyone knew that this exact deck would be one to fare against in a new standard environment.
Luckily, I happen to have the playset of the Woodland Cemeteries whenever they were trading for a low value.
Well, congratulations for getting in there ahead of the curve.
Just
Meanwhile,
doing
Alan is getting in there with his Lotleth Troll and a Rancor Gravecrawler. This is pretty perilous here, isn't it? What are the other modes on Golgari Charm? Nuke a graveyard, regenerate everything, and then what's the other one?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Golgari Charm, what's the third?
Third charm?
The third ability on Golgari Charm.
Oh, it's -1/-1 counters, regenerate creatures.
Okay, so it. I was just trying to think here, is there any card in his deck that would have won him the game from that spot? We do see an unsummon on the Gravecrawler, which he then just pitches to the Lotleth Troll.
Which just seems like exactly what you want to happen.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scenario here.
I mean, one point of damage.
With the Lotleth Troll on the board, every Gravecrawler that you draw is basically 3 power. It is a very healthy interaction, and more importantly, they're just 2 very good cards in and of themselves. So we do see a Vault, but unfortunately, no creatures to activate it with.
Why is the Augur tapped?
The Augur is not tapped. The Augur is untapped. The Crippling Blight that Alan played on it is tapped.
Oh, I see. The sleeve is red now that I look at it. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's getting the glare. It's because it is turned to the opposite direction. So we have not had an issue with glare today. Things look to have been pretty good. So we apologize for that slight imperfection, but hopefully that'll square itself away here. How's Justin going to dig himself out of this mess?
With Anthems and Spirits.
So I assume the fact that he passed without playing anything means Midnight Haunting? Or Azorius Charm, possibly?
The Charm would be pretty good here.
So that's 9 power coming in. 3, 2, and 4.
7 of it is trample, so even Spirits won't save him. If you had one more land, then an evacuation would be pretty good. Snapcaster, and what does he bring back? An
Unsummon, I guess.
Troll? You pretty much have to do the Troll.
Well, if you don't do the Troll, you just have the same thing happen like you did last time, where he just ends up getting more value off the Gravecrawler in his hand than anything else.
He would still end up taking 5, which would put him down to 1.
People in the chat mentioning our past draft coverage. We did have coverage of the Return to Ravnica launch party drafts from last week, so you can check those out on YouTube. We did have a hand camera for one of the players. So we see Alan discarding 2 to his Lotleth Troll. That's enough with Trample to push through damage. And Alan Pack moves to 3-0 in a pretty good spot here going into for the 7-round standard tournament. Congratulations to Alan and best of luck to both of these gentlemen as they move on throughout the tournament. So, Brett, what do you think about these 2 decks we just saw?
I think the Jund Zombie is very solid, and that Esper Tokens deck, while it seems to be able to hold its own in most this format, really needs some more instant speed and populate.
Yeah, it's just very slow. The only thing that it does prior to turn 3 is play an Anthem, and that is often not good enough. We are back here in the studio cam. I don't know why every time I switch this camera I do this. That's what I do.
You've been doing it for weeks,
so... I also do this sometimes, especially F&M streams. I'll come back to the camera.
Yeah, that was last night's Twitch.
That's every night if you watch. I also overuse the word literally and the phrase "in a perfect world." These are all things that I notice watching the coverage back. But anyway, thanks to you guys for joining us. We are here at the West Virginia State Magic Championships for 2012. My name is Zachary Evans. This is a Brett Rose. We have just finished up round 3 of our standard tournament. We got 4 more rounds to go, followed by a top 8. So,
so far it's been exciting.
So far it's been pretty good. We've seen in the first round we saw 2 green-white decks. Very different builds, a green-white humans deck and a green-white mid-range deck pair off. Then we saw a Junk Reanimator deck paired up against another green-white humans deck with a very aggressive beatdown deck. And then we just saw Jund Zombies deck take down an Esper Tokens deck that Justin called the Briar Pack. I'm not sure. I might try to find out from him why exactly it was called the Briar Pack. But a very interesting list that just did not get off the ground in Game 3.
It was very sticky, in all fairness.
Yeah. It was. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, we have about 12 minutes left in the round. I don't necessarily have anything planned for this. I don't want to keep going over and bombarding you guys with advertisements and whatnot, but what I would like to do... Oops, that's not it.
We are testing settings.
We have already tested all settings. I would like to go back and think, we have a lot of... Our ability to do this today was basically thanks to the friendly folks over at Lost Legion Games and Comics. They are sponsoring this event. They are organizing it. They let us stream F&M from their store every week there in South Charleston. Lost Legion has 4 convenient locations in Beckley, Princeton, South Charleston, and Parkersburg, West Virginia. So if you're ever in the area, 3 major interstates go through Charleston, West Virginia, I-64, 77, and 79. So if you're coming from the Midwest and going to the beach in the summer, or if you're driving up north from down that way, it's conveniently located. It's really worth stopping by. Good people, friendly service, great prices. There's a reason why we go to that shop and not others. So thanks to them for allowing us to do this, and thanks for the support. And it's not just Magic cards. They do a considerable amount of comics business as well. They specialize in Magic, board games, Yu-Gi-Oh, Warhammer, War Machine, HeroClix, RPGs.
Comics.
If you can play a game, Lost Legion will facilitate it for you. So thanks to our sponsor there, and please patronize them as best you can. Addition, every week, as I've mentioned it multiple times so far, we have a Friday Night Magic broadcast. We go streaming live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, give or take, every week, as long as it's available. There's a chance we will not have an event next week. There is a local gaming convention in Charleston called CharCon. I realize right now that I forgot to make any kind of
contingency plan.
Well, no, any kind of advertisement for CharCon. But normally we'll be doing that on Friday. We normally run 4 or 5 round standard tournament with a top 8. So if you enjoy the stream today, as we're getting a lot of positive feedback in the chat, we appreciate that. Feel free to get in touch with us however you can. All the feedback we get from you, we take very seriously, and we try to improve the broadcast as best we can. So there might not be an F&M stream next week. We'll do our best to see what we can do there. But at least for today, we've got at a minimum 4 more rounds, and then 3 rounds of top 8. So 7 more rounds of Magic coming up. Looking at the clock, we're still about 10 minutes away. I'm not really sure what else to cover here. I do want to take care of some things off camera. But, yeah. Brett, anything you want to add?
I don't have anything. Maybe if we have another aggro matchup, we might be able to get some commentary from the players or something.
Yeah, let's see if we can scare up one of the 2 players from the previous game. I'm not sure.
They just disappeared.
They just disappeared. The problem is we were doing the post-game. What's the word I'm looking for? Not breakdown, but
Bedrick?
Moratorium. I don't know. The players just bolted out of here, so unfortunately we don't have time to discuss with them. But we will try to find some kind of in-between round time filler for you, maybe a deck tech or interview or talk to somebody. But for right now, we're going to take a brief break. We do have 10 minutes left in a round. It will probably be about 15 minutes before we actually get another camera under the feature match area. If we do find out something in between, if we do have something for you, we'll come back. So please stick around. We'll be right back with more coverage of the 2012 West Virginia State Championships.